Are you looking to live in Winder, Georgia? Well, today I'm going to take you on a little tour of what Winder has to offer you. That way you can get a good idea of what it's like to live here in this small town. I'm going to show you the historic downtown part of Winder so you can see kind of what the local eaters, the local cuisine, local stuff, the local stores are. And I'm also going to show you a little bit about what you can do and the fun things that are here in Winder, Georgia. As well, I'm going to show you 3 communities at 3 different price ranges. That way you can get a good idea of what Winder has to offer inside of your budget. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Now really fast, if you're new to this channel, my name is Samuel Stott, and after moving here to Georgia and learning about the surrounding areas, I want to help you make this move as smooth as possible. So whether you're moving in 9 or 90 days, feel free to reach out, give us a call, shoot us a chat, even send us an email, whatever you'd like to do, whatever you feel comfortable. I'd be happy to make that move as smooth as possible for you. As well, be sure to hit subscribe and like us. That way you can be the first to know about what it's like to move into the northeast part of Georgia. Now, without further ado, let's jump into Winder, Georgia. All right, here we are in the historic downtown part of Winder. Now, this area, you can see right behind me, this is the kind of main street, Broad Street is what it's called. This is where you're going to find a lot of the local kind of shops, all those fun things. So you can see kind of behind me, you got Love Letters. Over here on the corner, we have the Toki here, sushi restaurant. And then behind me, you've got other things like Bistro on the Broad and other restaurants kind of behind here. So my wife and I were actually looking to move out here to Georgia. One of the things that we really loved about Winder was the small town community, the feel of just that slower paced life. I come from a smaller town out in out west. But growing up, the nearest grocery store was about 20 to 30 minutes for me. Now that town has grown up and it's become a lot bigger. So when we moved out here, that was something we were kind of looking for, was that small town feel again, kind of being able to get away from all the traffic, the hustle and bustle, all that stuff, but still being able to be close enough to the things that we needed, like job if we needed to commute somewhere or anything like that. And you will see right behind you, this is the kind of the main street, Broad Street, what it's called. This will get a little bit of congestion from here to there. So I actually try to avoid this street whenever I'm driving. And so with me being from this kind of smaller town, we didn't want something a little bit similar to that. And so what's great and what we love about Winder is although you don't actually have to drive 20 to 30 minutes to get to a grocery store, we actually have quite a few bigger grocery stores here. We've got our Walmart, Publix. If you don't know what Publix is, it's a grocery store. We've got Ingles, another one. And then actually they just opened a Kroger in a town right next door, as well as they're going to be opening one in a town called Bethlehem, which is kind of connected to Winder. We oftentimes refer to them as the same. And so Winder does have quite a bit of things, and you're not just like stranded in the middle of nowhere. We do have a hospital, right actually up that main street, that Broad Street. And then we've got other activities. And I'll actually be talking about kind of some of the things you can do here in Winder in just a second, because I'm going to show you a little bit of the parks and kind of the surrounding areas. But that is, you're not just stranded here. Where I grew up, I felt like, there wasn't really much to do except for drive 20, 30 minutes to get to your grocery store. And then you just had to be creative on everything else. Right off the side is if you actually have this little park area, and it's for local food trucks on the weekends. You can actually come out here with your family. You can find a seat. You got the nice little twinkling lights. You can come at nighttime. They'll actually have food trucks here, so you can come get some good food, hang out. They'll sometimes have like music right over here on this kind of stage over there, and then you can just be here. They've actually have some cornhole going on actually. Yeah, right there. You got cornhole leagues, so you kind of got just this fun little community here. That's like the feel, that small town feel that you oftentimes see in like the movies. You can find that here in Winder because you just have that small town, and there's just fun little activities throughout here. There's always something going on. You got your farmers markets, you've got other just local events, and then you've got kind of like the local cuisine. So I'm gonna go show you a couple of little streets where the local cuisine and the local stores are at that are kind of famous here in Winder. Like just down the street from here, we've got Jug Tavern Park, which Jug Tavern Park is where they'll host like concert events or other sort of things like movies in the park. I think Jelly Roll actually performed there last year. So anyways, they'll have that kind of those concert areas, and that's just part of the fun community of the downtown feel where you just have that really tight-knit kind of slower-paced life if you have just a fun little key event. So do a lot of that. You actually also have your playhouse down there. And then right here, we actually have another one of the kind of local cuisine. You got like Gabrielle's, and then over here, we've got Latin Players. So those two restaurants are also great cuisine if you're wanting to try some food here. Like Gabrielle's is where we take, anytime somebody visits, my wife and I will take them to Le Gabrielle's because we absolutely love it. Shout out to them. They do an incredible job. All right, getting a little closer to the downtown part of Winder, the main street area, you're gonna see a couple of the restaurants that kind of like the local cuisines here. just off of the main street, the Broad Street area. So you've got right here on this corner, you got Casey's, which is open only 4 hours a day for lunchtime. They have incredible hamburgers. I highly recommend you go try them out. If you're not deciding to move to Winder, you're moving to a surrounding area, just come over here and visit it, check it out. They have other little restaurants right over here, Taco Social, and you've got actually, they're building a new one right now at this place. You kind of see they're doing a little bit of paintwork and stuff like that. And then right over here, you've got Night Sky Coffee, which just opened. It's pretty recent, probably at least in the last year. So that's very new right there as well. Then we're actually coming up here on the City Hall. It's a little Winder City Hall here. And this is one of the things that I do really enjoy about Winder is with this, it's part of Barrow County, and it is a county that Barrow's actually growing a lot. Now, it is still small, and so to give you kind of a little understanding of where Winder is located, it is kind of smack in the middle of two major kind of areas. You've got Atlanta, of course, and then the suburbs of Atlanta, like Lawrenceville, Beaufort, kind of Gwinnett County, is right on the outskirts of Atlanta, those suburbs. And then you've got Athens on the other side. So you got Athens to the east, Gwinnett County, Lawrenceville, that kind of area to the west. And Winder is smack in the middle of that. So you're about 20 to 30 minutes on both sides. You have this easy access to both of those places because of 316, which is this main kind of highway that goes right through. They're doing a lot of kind of major construction on that to make it better and a little more efficient. They're actually doing like little ramps to go over them, so it just helps to make traffic a little bit flow a little quicker and less a little safer, I guess you would say, more safe. Because of that, Winder is kind of situated in this great area where it's starting to grow a lot. It is getting busier. We're starting to get more people moving out here, especially just because of the location. People like to feel like they're in a small community, slower pace of life, but still have access to all those areas. One of the cons you could say of Winder is there's not a lot of nightlife. You don't have a lot of like restaurants open past, 6 o'clock. It does kind of, everything starts to close right around that time. On the weekends, they'll have to be a little more open, but you do kind of get to that point where if you want more nightlife or maybe more activities like Topgolf, or, we don't have a Costco here. So let's get a Costco here. If you're watching, let's get a Costco in Winder. It'd be great. But you have two Costco's actually 30 minutes from Winder, one in Beaufort, one in Athens. So you do have options in terms of things to go to. Topgolf is also in Beaufort, or other activities. Go-karting's out there, but you don't have that necessarily here. You are kind of just with what we have is the local stuff, which we've kind of seen some of the restaurants and things like that. But so if you're somebody that looks for, you want a lot of those things to do all kind of around you, Winder may not be the place for you. If you are wanting to be part of a growing community and maybe be a part of, a town where you have stuff, you got a lot of these like local things, and you want to have that slower pace of life, Winder could be the place for you, because we do have, although we don't have everything, there are a lot of things happening here. You've got over in Bethlehem, there's kind of this shopping center that's all starting to grow up. We got Kroger being built over there. We actually already have a Target, TJ Maxx, all that stuff. PetSmart is over there as well. Winder had a lot of the things that felt like I was kind of missing in other areas. We do have we have a Home Depot here, so you can go do your DIY projects. You've got a lot of like your car shops, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, all that stuff is here in Winder, as well as your grocery stores, which I've mentioned before. And so you do have a lot of access to the things that you maybe need. It's just more of if you're looking for stuff that you maybe want in terms of activities and fun things to do. Now, if you're wanting to see a little bit more about what Winder, like the stores and stuff that Winder may have, and kind of get a better visual of where we're located, be sure to check out my map video of Winder. I'll put the description somewhere here. That way you can check that out. You can get a better idea as well, because today we're kind of just touring Winder. We're looking around. That way you can get a good idea of what the downtown feels and how it, if that's a place that you want to be. We're going to jump over to a park called Legacy Park, just down the street from here. This was actually a park that was built by the community, and then they say built by the community for the community, which is an incredible kind of representation of what Winder is, because that's how the community is. The community is very tight. It's just, you have this really great sense of community here, and it's fun. I enjoy that. That's something I've noticed here, just being around and just checking out Winder, what we loved about it. And so let's go jump over to that park, and I'll show you a little bit of what are some of the things you can do here in Winder, besides go check out the restaurants and walk around downtown. If you're looking for things to do here in Winder, there are little locations that I want to show you that will kind of help you with what, your Saturday plans with fun activities. One of those areas is actually right where I am right now, which is Legacy Park. This park was built actually by the community, and it's this great little open area. You can see lots of open spaces. There'll be walking trails with that, and you can go walk with your kids. And you also have this nice, cool park they just finished building only about a year ago. And so this is brand new here to Winder. And it's this fun park. So you got the climbing gyms, you got the zip line area for the kids, swings, play sets, this whole play area right there. They're actually going to be building a dog park on this other side, as well as other little features kind of like here you've got pollination gardens. So this is a growing park that's going to be continue being built, continue adding your little amenities. But as well as Legacy Park, we've got Fort Yargo, which is our state park, and it's a little lake. It's just 5 minutes away from downtown. And you've got a lake where you can go fishing, go to the beach area, go jump in the lake, go swimming with the kids. You can go play miniature golf. You actually have hiking and mountain biking trails all throughout that go kind of right around the lake. You can even go camping or stay in a cabin or a yurt. So there's lots of options in Fort Yargo. And the last place I want to mention is the sports complex that's here in Winder called Victor Lord Park. Now, Victor Lord Park has just a bunch of soccer, well, not soccer. They have a bunch of sports though. So you got soccer, baseball, basketball, tennis, pickleball, kind of all those ones. Anyways, lots of sports fields. So that's all again Victor Lord Park. And that's just an area that if the kids are into the sports and, you got to spend your Saturdays there. So you're going to be waking up, taking your little lawn chair, and you're going to be hanging out at Victor Lord Park with your kids as they go through these sports. That's over in Victor Lord, and that's about 10 minutes from downtown. So Winder has other things that we can mention that are just fun activities you can do. But for now, let's actually jump into the community. So we're going to take you to the first community and show you one home here in a different price range. That way you can get a good idea what you can afford within your budget. So let's jump to that. All right, here we are in our first community here in Winder, Georgia. Now this home is listed at $345,000 for 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,900 square feet. This was built back in 2003, so it is an older home. And so you kind of have that opportunity to maybe, revamp the inside if that's something you want to do. But this is it right here for $345,000 right here in Winder, Georgia. This is about 5 to 10 minutes from downtown part of Winder. And you are kind of in this neighborhood where you do have, your sidewalk. You can go walk around. You can kind of walk deep into, and you'll see in the next video, just kind of the area around here. You can go walk through your neighborhood just fine. Take your dog out, kids for a little walk, whatever you need to. Now, let's go to our second home right now. All right, here we are in the second community here in Winder, Georgia. Now, this community is it's a gated community right off of kind of the main street in Winder. So you got this kind of secluded area, and this home is a little bit more, it's right kind of at the beginning of this development, and they are still actually building. So you've got even new homes further down as we get deeper into the development. But this community comes with a lot of amenities such as a pool, community center, and then you can see there's sidewalks. I know where I'm walking, but they're all throughout the neighborhood. So you can go walk around, take your dog out, go for a little run, whatever. You've got lots of places to kind of run around and go deep into the neighborhood. And so you're not having to run on any main streets or anything like that. But this home in this neighborhood right here is actually listed at $440,000. It's just under 3,000 square feet, so 2,900 square feet. It's 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, and it was built back in 2007. So a little bit older in the home. You can kind of tell in this neighborhood is a little more older, this kind of part of the community, this development. But you can see by the trees, kind of older, but everything is well taken care of. You can see all the neighbors' lawns. Everybody takes care of their yards and their homes here. So it is a great kind of location for where it's at, because you're near that downtown area of Winder, but you also have that kind of seclusion with the gated community and that area right there. Another thing to kind of keep in mind, especially when you're looking into Winder is part of the Barrow County School District. So I want to bring that into play because I know that's something you might be considering. Barrow County School District is the public school option as you're here in Winder for your kids if your kids are in school. And a lot of the schools are kind of near each other. So you've got kind of the high school, elementary school, and the junior high that kind of are the main ones right next to each other. But then there's other ones throughout Winder, just depending on, which one your kid pertains to. You might be going to a different one, but they are kind of all in a very similar area if you're looking for like the high school and the junior high. But you do have other options in terms of private options. You've got a Christian school that's here if that's something you're interested in. But as well, I always mention it's great to have homeschool option. We have some friends here that are actually part of a homeschool group. And so if you're looking for that or you want to take your kids down that road and have kind of that freedom there with homeschooling, you do have that here in Winder. So you're not just stuck to the only options here. You do have options in terms of schooling, but that is part of the Barrow County School District. So that's something you can kind of look into if that's something, schooling wise, if you want to make sure and check that out. So now we're going to take you to the third and final community and home here in Winder, Georgia. I'll see you in just a second. All right, here we are in our final community here in Winder, Georgia. Now this community is actually a little more on the outskirts of Winder, so you're almost further away from traffic and stuff like that, if you really like that seclusion, that feel of just kind of being in your own area, this might be the neighborhood for you. And as you can see right here, we have a pond here with a bunch of Canadian geese. I actually don't know where they all were. They were right here just a couple minutes ago. I think they all kind of flew away. But I mean, if you know anything about Canadian geese, they kind of own the streets. And so, be sure to stay away from them. Maybe don't try to bug them because they do like to charge. I've been charged by a goose before, and it's a little terrifying. They're kind of big animals. All right, so this home that we're actually looking at over here was built back in 2021, very similar to a lot of the homes here. They're all kind of built in the same time period. There are some that are a little bit older, but this one was built back in 2021, so just 4 years old, and it's listed at $575,000. It's just under 3,400 square feet with 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. So as you can kind of see with their neighbors, very nice manicured lawns. The neighborhood's very quiet. But this is the home right here. So you can see this is it. We've got that brick and siding kind of mixture right there. Hopefully you guys, this is a good shot right there. But that's kind of what you're going to be getting at. You do get a little bit more space from what we've seen in the other homes. It is a little bit more of a price, but you are getting, the little features of being a little further out from Winder. And if there is any other questions you want to be answered, feel free to leave those in the comments. I'll be sure to try to answer those as soon as possible. But whether you're looking to move to Winder in the next 90 days, or even 900 days, be sure to reach out to us, give us a call, shoot us a text, or even send us an email. We'll be happy to set up a call with you and help you make that move as smooth as possible. Until then, we'll see you on the next video. Bye.